So let's talk about the herd mentality that affects sellers and it also affects home buyers. The simple explanation is that we find one single sale will influence the pricing for that entire set of streets in that neighborhood. And buyers will give more weight to a single house, whether it be a low one or one that was average, that was over the top, remodeled and updated and beautiful. They will give that more weight than the average of what they will give that particular neighborhood, let alone the city. And then it gets, of course, even less interesting when we start going to state or national statistics. So as an agent, it's always important to know what the buyer is or is likely to think about the pricing. Because as we said before, you really only get one shot at pricing a home right. You can always do price reductions. But if that anchoring point of the original list price isn't set correctly, along with the way the home is showcased, both online and in real life when someone walks in, then you're missing out on the biggest opportunity. Herd mentality also comes into play when we talk about the media telling buyers that, hey, everybody's buying, interest rates have never been lower, and then the entire market gets flooded with buyers. The same is happening now, where the media is reporting that there are a lot more sellers than there are buyers, and that now is a great time to get a deal. So now we have parties that are dueling. We have buyers that think that they're going to get the home for less than what it's listed for, and maybe even what is less than what we would consider fair. And they're also going to be asking for more than they have been the last couple of years in closing costs, help, and concessions, and perhaps repairs. And sellers are still in the mentality of, my neighbor got $900,000. Now, that might have been 14 months ago, but I should be able to get more than that, because it is a confirmation bias that I believe that we are still in a market where homes are increasing in price very, very quickly. So my house should be more than anybody else's that's sold. Our job as agents is to be able to not only use the simple facts and figures, what homes have sold in the area, the neighborhood, what is the square footage, what is the condition of those homes, but we also have to dive much, much, much deeper into who those buyers and sellers are and were on the closed transactions specifically. Because if you can tell a seller, look, there are two homes sort of similar to yours that have sold in the last handful of months, but this is what their marketing experience was. This is what their offers or offer looked like. These were the negotiation terms and the timelines that they faced. And at the end of the day, this is what they got. And here's where the buyers came from. Were they selling a bigger home? Were they first-time buyers? We need to know those things up front in order to be able to set realistic expectations, but also dial in that marketing so that we're not just throwing your property out to the general public, but it is actually detail oriented to appeal to the most likely buyer for your home. That is the best way to not only net you the most money possible as a seller, that is also the most important aspect of being able to meet your timelines as a seller, not only your bottom line, but also when you want it marketed, how long it's going to take to market, how long that escrow period is going to be, and when you can make that move you want to make. I like to get those things set up and predicted as absolutely best as possible before anybody moves forward. And if you're not getting that from a potential agent that you might know that you're talking to, I think you should at least get a second opinion and talk to me before you sign a contract.